Hello, beautiful people of the fragrance community. Mike here with iSMELL. Hope this video is finding you well. For those of y'all who are not already aware, iSMELL is in fact a channel dedicated to all things fragrance related, as well as connecting with like-minded individuals within this community. If that sounds like something that you think you would be interested in, at risk of sounding cheesy here, I am going to encourage you to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. I know a lot of people do not like to hear this. However, the truth of the matter is that it does strengthen the YouTube algorithm. Not to mention, it ensures that you are able to stay tuned into future content that I upload. So, with that out of the way, the formalities are now out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. In today's video, we will be doing a full and in-depth review of a fragrance that I reach for rather frequently during the transitional seasons. It comes from the house of Prada, and it's none other than Prada Amber Pour Homme. Do make sure you stick around until the end because, as promised, I will be announcing the Zaharoff Decant Giveaway winner. We have a ton of information to get through in this review, you guys. I'll see y'all on the other side of the intro. Okay, so Prada Amber Pour Homme is a fragrance that was launched in 2006. It has been out for quite some time. I'm not sure what constitutes as a classic. However, this one has been out for a number of years, and I do believe it sits somewhere in that classic realm. The nose behind this fragrance is going to be a lady named Andrea Roche. She has a multitude of fragrances within the house of Prada. Some of them include Prada L'Homme as well as Prada L'Homme Intense, and she is going to be the nose behind the entire Prada Luna Rosa line, although she did not create Ocean. That one was created by someone else. She also has a multitude of fragrances for other houses that she's perfumed for. Some of those houses are going to include Maison Margiela, Guerlain, Gucci, as well as Bottega Veneta. It's worth noting that Musha Prada, the Italian designer, which is noted for having turned her grandfather's leather goods company into the worldwide fashion icon that it is today, had her hands deep into the development of Prada Amber Pour Homme, and that is because Prada Amber Pour Homme is Prada's first men's fragrance, and it is the first fragrance within Prada's fragrance portfolio. So a lot of careful thought was put into the development of Prada Amber Pour Homme, and it absolutely conveys that. Okay, so as fate would have it, this is in fact the third bottle of Prada Amber Pour Homme that I have owned. I would not go on record to state that this fragrance was ever considered a signature scent, but it is a fragrance scent profile that I am very acclimated to, seeing as I have owned this fragrance since 2010. It's for that reason that I feel fairly confident to speak about this fragrance, as I've worn it on and off for a number of years. Prada Amber Pour Homme is classified as an amber fougere, and it is going to be centered around four main accords. Those four accords are going to be a fresh cologne accord, a fougere accord, a suede accord, as well as the amber accord that the house of Prada is now synonymous with. This is going to be the forefather of all those fragrances. Okay, so before we talk about what I smell in this fragrance, let's talk about the presentation for a bit. This presentation is absolutely elegant, you guys. The glass on this is absolutely dense. The purple juice is beautiful. It will say Prada right here, and the ingredients will be listed right here. However, they are in another language that I do not know how to read, but it basically says labdanum from France, patchouli from Indonesia, cardamom from Guatemala, and saffron from Spain. There is no batch code at the bottom. This is an EDT. This is 100 milliliters, I believe, and the cap is rubbish. It feels very cheap, you guys. I would not hold this from the cap, although I think you can, but yeah, it's sliding off. Yeah, don't hold this from the cap. And the atomizer, I'm gonna absolutely butcher this name. The atomizer, the placement of the atomizer reminds me of the Comme des Garçons fragrances. This all in all is a beautiful, elegant fragrance that will look very regal on your shelf. I have no qualms with the presentation. The price point on this fragrance for the full presentation is going to run you roughly and approximately $70 before tax. You can get a tester for about the $55 mark, but this is one of the instances where I would say getting a tester is absolutely fine because the cap is kind of rubbish. So if that's all you're not going to be receiving, then I would opt to get the tester in this case versus the full presentation. Most of us don't keep boxes, so in that case, just pay the $55 and you can get the 3.4 ounce. Prada Amber Pour Homme, or Prada Man as people say, is going to have a ton of listed notes, and it's not going to be until closer examination that you can really pick up on one note versus the other. That's why I explained it in terms of the accords, because that better accurately conveys the demeanor of the fragrance. But for the sake of this full and in-depth review, I will list all the notes as well as show them on the screen. They include neroli, cardamom, bergamot, and mandarin orange up at the top. In the middle, you will have myrrh, musk, orange blossom, geranium, and vetiver. And then the base is going to be saffron, vanilla, labdanum, leather, tonka bean, sandalwood, and patchouli. So yeah, there will be quite a bit of notes in this fragrance. Some of them stand out versus the others, but it's only when you closely examine the scent profile of this fragrance. It is unique in the sense that this fragrance smells rather simple, but it is diversely blended with a multitude of ingredients. Okay, so let's talk about what I smell on this fragrance. I will give y'all a couple sprays. The atomizer is going to be way above average per the price point. Again, that price point being around $70 for the full presentation and about $55 for the tester. It does feel really good in your hand because you can use your index finger. And this is my scent of the day, so I will spray it on myself as well. It's absolutely beautiful, y'all. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So upon first spraying, you're going to be introduced to that fresh cologne and fougere accord that I mentioned just earlier. Prada Amber Pour Homme ultimately has many barbershop nuances. However, it's revamped in a way that comes across contemporary and gives this fragrance both a modern as well as classic feel about itself. It will open up top with bright neroli as well as citrus, but it's going to settle rather quickly and dissipate into the more balsamic resinous tones. The most notable note being that myrrh note. The myrrh in this fragrance is resinous, bittersweet, dense, rich, complex, as well as warm, and I'm going to go on record to state that it lasts and sustains itself up until the late dry down of this fragrance. Myrrh is going to be one of the lifeblood notes of this fragrance. As Prada Amber Pour Homme begins to settle, that's when it will transition into that signature soapy, fresh and clean DNA that Prada, the House of Prada, is world renowned for. This fragrance, like I said, is going to warm up quite a bit, and that is going to be due to that amber accord. And what makes up the amber accord, because it is a fantasy note, amber is not a naturally occurring compound in the world that you can just throw into a fragrance. People combine fragrance accords and then create the amber accord, which is known throughout to be in many fragrances. The four notes that are going to be attributed with this amber accord is going to be the labdanum, patchouli, the tonka bean, and the vanilla. It creates a very warm demeanor about this fragrance, and that is what you're gonna get until the late dry down once this fragrance dries down. But none of those notes stand out above the other. They're blended in such a way that just gives you a dense, warm vibe. Late into the dry down, that's when the suede accord is going to come in, and that is going to be due to the sandalwood, the leather, and the saffron most notably. This is not a heavy, coarse leather that you would find on a jacket. This is a soft suede leather that is very wearable. It's not as strong as, say, ombre leather, for example, but this is a beautiful fragrance nonetheless. It does also have cardamom in it, which is going to warm this fragrance up as well, and it's due to that tonka bean note, the vanilla note, the suede accord, the deep resinous myrrh, that I do feel like the seasonality of this fragrance is going to be fall and then spring while it's still crisp before it gets too hot. It's not one of my favorite winter fragrances, but for the transitional season, when it starts to get more cool outside, I absolutely love to pull this one out, and there's nothing wrong with smelling fresh and clean. I would say this fragrance is overtly masculine. However, it does run rather unisex. Just because you call something pour homme doesn't make it for a man. Anybody can wear any fragrance. This fragrance, I would say, is unisex. However, it is overtly masculine in the sense that I would rather wear this than smell my fiance wearing it, for example. All right, you guys, so now for the portion which a lot of you have stuck around for, we will be announcing the Zaharoff Decant Giveaway winner. To show my appreciation for reaching 270 subscribers, I am going to pick one lucky subscriber so that they can get these decants right here. I am going to ship it to you free of charge. Let's go ahead and pick our winner, you guys. All right, I have one winner here. George Zavala. You are the winner. I will be sending you 6 Zaharoff decants, assuming you hit me up on Instagram and you live in the United States. Congratulations. I am super excited to send these decants out to you. I really do appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoy fragrance related content, if you found value in this video specifically, I am going to encourage you one last time to subscribe to my channel. As always, I love and appreciate the support. I do not take your time for granted. Until next time, you guys, y'all take care. Stay safe. Bye.